Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about, excuse me, when Gorilla Grodd meets Iron Man. So when last we left off, we were in Earth Prime, and Hawkeye had just defeated Green Arrow, and Green Arrow was knocked unconscious on Lex Luthor's yacht. And at that point, Gorilla Grodd explained, hey, Hawkeye, you're not really fully aware of this world, but you just knocked out the leader, the interim leader of the Justice League, and so we need to skedaddle because Justice League, they don't take that kind of mess, and we need to be out of here. So they ride off on a Chris Craft, a speedboat that is within Lex Luthor's yacht fleet, mini yacht fleet, and Gorilla Grodd, says to Hawkeye, we need to kill, you need to go back to Earth 616, but we need to kill a little bit of time here. We can't make right for your exit point right now because that's too predictable, right? So we need to, kind of lay a little smoke down on our cover. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to take you to meet a very important man here on Earth Prime. So at that point, Gorilla Grodd takes Hawkeye to Belle Reve. And at that point as well, Gorilla Grodd uses his resources to disguise Hawkeye. And Gorilla Grodd says, listen, I can't go into Belle Reve. It's a prison, but I want you to go in disguise, and I need you to talk to Prometheus. And once you do that, you're going to understand this world a lot better. You're also going to understand Batman a lot better. And Batman is the man who killed Hulk, okay? So Hawkeye carries out Gorilla Grodd's plan. Hawkeye goes into Belle Reve, and he has a discussion with Prometheus. Hawkeye comes out. He thanks Gorilla Grodd for that meeting, and Gorilla Grodd says, okay, we're ready. Let's go back to the entrance point that you came into this world through. And then Gorilla Grodd says respectfully, listen, Hawkeye, I understand you're from a different world, but we've become friends, and I want to aid you as you go back to your world. So Hawkeye, says, I really appreciate it, Gorilla Grodd. I'd be honored to have you come with me to Earth 616. And at that point, Hawkeye begins to discuss Earth 616 with Gorilla Grodd. At that point, Gorilla Grodd and Hawkeye both go to the portal, and as soon as Hawkeye is within 53 yards of the portal, it activates. But before that happens, the Justice League has put some of their minor members as guards on the portal, right? So Gorilla Grodd actually is very careful, and he makes sure to knock out with Hawkeye. They both knock out the minor Justice Leaguers who were left there as guards. And this gives Hawkeye more evidence, because Hawkeye is starting to put the pieces together that Gorilla Grodd may be a villain on Earth Prime, okay? But, Gorilla Grodd taking the time to knock these minor Justice Leaguers out rather than kill them, puts more evidence in the he's not a bad guy stack for Hawkeye. Hawkeye and Gorilla Grodd go through the portal, and the portal closes, okay? Immediately on Earth 616, Iron Man is sitting there waiting for Hawkeye, and he goes, I knew you'd be successful, Hawkeye. Thank you very much for going over there to find out what happened to the Hulk. And then, Hawkeye, puts a hand up. He says, I need to introduce you to Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd is a resident on Earth Prime. And a citizen of Earth Prime, and Iron Man, greets Gorilla Grodd. They shake hands, and Gorilla Grodd, compliments Iron Man on his tech, and actually at that point, Iron Man compliments Gorilla Grodd on his tech. Okay, And so that starts to go along well. And at that point, the X-Men Blackbird comes down, and Iron Man says, we need to get up to Avalon. Now, Avalon is the old Magneto's asteroid headquarters. Okay, I think he called it Asteroid M. And at that point, they go to Avalon, and Iron Man, because he's been seeing these back and forth, because he's talked with Reed Richards' wife, and he starts to see that, there really is starting to be the combination of two worlds together, and that, the ramifications of Earth Prime being connected to Earth 616 are massive, and that already the back and forth between these two worlds has caused the death of one of the major heroes of Earth 616. So Iron Man has done something really unique. And so on Avalon, Iron Man has called together over 150 of each, 50 Marvel heroes and 50 Marvel villains. Now, there's a lot of debate on Avalon right now on whether, among the heroes, on whether Iron Man should have given free passage to all these villains. But Iron Man pulls everybody together, and Hawkeye and Gorilla Grodd are received on Avalon, and everyone is saying hello primarily to Gorilla Grodd because he's from a different world, and both villains and heroes. And as soon as there's something for them to interact with, there is less tension between them. And Gorilla Grodd really, kind of like works the room, and he's saying hello to everybody. And at that point, Iron Man pulls everybody together in the main hall, and he says, Hawkeye, tell us what happens. Hawkeye tells everyone that Bruce Banner was, Batman, he doesn't use the name Bruce Banner, that Batman was that the Hulk was kidnapped on Earth 616 by Mr. Freeze, brought over to, and this is everything that Hawkeye learned from Lex Luthor when he went over to Earth Prime. So he tells everybody the Hulk was kidnapped by Mr. Freeze. The Hulk then escaped his imprisonment that Mr. Freeze had put him in, and the Hulk killed someone on Earth Prime named Kid Flash. At that point, Batman, an Earth Prime hero named Batman, took it upon himself, made a plan to kill the Hulk, and executed that plan. Okay, and that Batman is responsible for the Hulk's death. He also explains to everybody that the Hulk laid one single punch on Batman, shattering 26 bones on Batman's left side, and Batman is now in an induced coma because if he were to be brought out of it, his pain and his physical condition would most likely kill him. Okay, and so at that point, everybody discusses, and at that point, Iron Man says, listen, we need to put together a group of people that are going to go to Earth 616. Luke Cage steps forward, and he takes over from Tony, which Tony allows, and actually, kind of turns over authority to the meeting to Luke Cage. Luke Cage just says, we're going to send over a team to Earth Prime, and that team is going to do the following. They're going to serve as diplomats of Earth 616. They're going to return Hulk's body to Earth 616 for a proper burial. They're going to establish control of a gate between Earth Prime and Earth 616. Okay, and then last, they're going to ask Earth 616 to send Earth Prime to send point people, diplomats, to send diplomats to Earth 616, so that some of the issues between these two worlds can start to be worked out. At that point, there's a vote that's taken on the Earth 616 side, and they choose their 3 diplomats, Earth 616's 3 diplomats to Earth Prime. And those 3 diplomats are chosen. And they are Iron Man, Balder the Brave, and finally Kingpin. Okay? And at that point, Gorilla Grodd and Iron Man return to the portal point that Hawkeye went to. As soon as Hawkeye gets to that portal point within 53 meters, it activates immediately, and actually they have him back away, and it closes. Okay, and at that point, Gorilla Grodd and Reed Richards and Iron Man all work together, and they build a portal shunt. Okay, now the portal shunt is a very expensive piece of technology, which takes a lot of money to maintain, and also takes maintenance at this point. But what it does is when Hawkeye walks within 53 meters of it, they shunt that portal, and then at that point, that portal remains open after Hawkeye has gone through the portal and has gone beyond 53 meters of that portal. Okay, and at that point, the Hawkeye Hawkeye does go with them, but he actually remains near the portal so that he can run back through, and he literally brings a book, right? And at that point, the 3 diplomats, Iron Man, Balder the Brave, and Kingpin, go forward specifically to Gotham City to begin parlaying with the Justice League. And that is our story. And of course, this was all run with DC Adventures and Marvel Saga. Many thanks to Norman and Reggie, my players. This was a lot of fun to play and put together. And Reggie played Hawkeye, and Norman actually took the part of Gorilla Grodd. Thank you, everyone.